I was on Twitter looking at what was trending, and I learned that apparently Joe Rogan he's been dodging requests from Trump to be on his podcast, which I just think is like the wildest thing I've ever heard. So let's react to the New York Post article about this. So this is the article. It is aptly titled, Joe Rogan Keeps Turning Down Trump's Request for Podcast Interview Report. This is... I feel like this is like... Yes, I'm wearing a blanket. I was cold. I feel like this is just... Wow, we are living in a simulation. We have to be. It doesn't make any sense. This is written by Ariel Zilber. It just came out like 3 hours ago. Joe Rogan has turned down numerous requests from Donald Trump's camp to interview the former president on his popular Spotify podcast, according to a report. Rogan has stated he is not a Trump supporter and that he has no desire to give the 45th president a platform, even though a large chunk of podcasters, 11 million listeners, do support the Republican frontrunner. That is just so... I don't know why, but my expectations for Joe Rogan are like down here at this point. Like they're so low. And so to hear him have like a W take is just... I just didn't think it would ever happen again. Like I genuinely thought he was beyond that point. However, after the two were seen shaking hands during a recent UFC fight in Las Vegas, Trump urged his advisors to explore further avenues for a sit-down, the Daily Beast reported. One of Trump's informal advisors, Roger Stone, has reportedly offered to engage Rogan in a UFC-style cage match in hopes of forcing the podcaster to interview the former president, according to the news site. Is he trying to get killed? Is he trying to die? I mean, he's running off of pure steroids. The mere discussion of Donald Trump on a blockbuster podcast like Joe Rogan builds a remarkable audience, a Trump advisor told the Daily Beast. This is something that I have tried to explain to many people in my life who still like Joe Rogan, is that he needs to recognize how big his platform is and that he genuinely influences people. He genuinely can change the way that people think about certain things. And it seems like in this instance, he knows that. He recognizes that having Trump on his podcast would just be, it would publicly show him supporting Trump, which would then obviously result in his millions of followers also having the idea that it's okay to support Trump. Perhaps the only bigger person in the new media world than Joe Rogan is Donald Trump, and the whole idea that the two of them would be together at long last, it would be an incredible audience. Here's the picture of them shaking hands. Trump recently appeared on the Full Send podcast, whose YouTube page counts more than 2 million subscribers, which is also like bottom of the barrel, dude. Bottom of the barrel. Why doesn't Trump have his own podcast at this point? Shouldn't he? I mean, he has his own social media website, like... Well, I guess it's actually just a blog at this point where he's shilling products. The Full Send interview with Trump generated millions of views, though the YouTube video of it was removed by a parent company, Alphabet, because the former president repeated his claims that the 2020 presidential election was fixed. I had no idea that happened. That's so fucking funny. Holy shit. Rogan, who has faced his own criticism for spouting COVID conspiracies, has said in the past that he has no desire to indulge Trump. I'm not a Trump supporter in any way, shape, or form. Rare W for Rogan. Rogan told podcaster Lex Fridman last year, I've had the opportunity to have him on my show more than once. I've said no every time. I don't want to help him. I'm not interested in helping him. I don't know why this is so funny to me. In my brain, he is like the same kind of person that Trump is. So I'm so surprised that he doesn't want him on his podcast. On his podcast last year, Rogan referred to Trump as a man baby while speculating that the current Republican frontrunner may be using Adderall. Damn. You're one to talk, Rogan? Didn't you literally tell people to put like horse tranquilizers in their body or whatever it was, horse ointment or something in their body to get rid of COVID like a year ago? But you know what? I won't judge him for speculating because a lot has been said about Trump and what he could possibly be using. Joe Rogan says he has turned down. This isn't the tweet that alerted me, but this is one of the ones that people are reacting to. Nonetheless, Trump isn't taking this snub to heart, according to the Daily Beast. The president listens to Rogan, one Trump advisor told the news site. I don't think the president takes Rogan's criticism personally, and really, in the end, Donald Trump would listen to a non-politician with some mild criticism more than a politician that kisses his ass. The post has sought comment from Trump and Rogan.
By the way, I'm not a Trump supporter in any way, shape, or form. I've had the opportunity to have him on my show more than once. I've said no every time. I don't want to help him. I'm not interested in helping him.
The night is still young. We'll see.
If I have him on, the night is still young?
Yeah.
You think I'll have him on?
I think you'll have him on.
Really? Yeah. Why do you think that? Because you'll have Putin on?
And you're competitive as fuck. No. I think ultimately, I mean, you've had a lot of people that I think you may otherwise be skeptical. Would I have a good conversation? Which I think is your metric. You don't care about politics, so can I have a good conversation? And I think you had like people like Kanye on, for example, and you had a great conversation with him. I think but
Kanye's an artist.
What he's trying to get at here is Trump would not have a good conversation with Joe Rogan. He would have the same conversation that he has with everybody on anything that he's ever featured on. It would be the same exact thing the same shit that he always says over and over and over again. And I think that's what he's getting at, is that a conversation with Trump isn't really a conversation. It's really just him going down bullet points in his head of what he needs to hit in that moment.
But Kanye doing well or not doing well doesn't change the course of our country.
Yeah, but
right.
Do you really bear the responsibility of the course of our country based on a conversation?
I think you can revitalize and rehabilitate someone's image in a way that is pretty shocking.
W Rogan. Okay. I just wish he would have felt this way about a lot of the things that he was spouting back in 2020 when people were literally dying. And he was giving them dangerous ideas of how to deal with the situation that we're still in, because COVID's not gone. We'll see if he said he's had multiple requests and he hasn't given in to any of them. So we'll see if he ends up having Mr. President on his podcast in the future. I have a feeling Spotify wouldn't be very happy with that either, to be honest. But okay, cool.